You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Well, hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys in studio, and we've got another beautiful podcast that we're going to be hanging out with you guys for just the next 20 minutes or so. We're going to do a short and sweet episode today. I want to give you guys just some fun current events, what's going on in our life, and then also here's the topic, or here's what I wanted to present to you guys a little bit, was a recent coaching call that we did, talking a little bit about charge cards on file, how we do some of our back-end office work, and just getting a little bit more control of our cash flow. We've actually talked about this on a couple YouTube videos and even a podcast or two, but with how many people that are new listening to the podcast day over day, month over month, there's bound to be some people that have slipped through the cracks and want to know the simple questions and the simple answers of how do we run our business and how do we maximize our cash flow. And some of these different topics were actually from a recent coaching call, and I figured, well, and actually two people asked about it this week on coaching calls, so I said, you know what, it might be time to revisit it really quick with how we do the charge cards on file and the credit cards on file. You know, just doing a little solo podcast here today. It's a beautiful week. We are about 80% done with our fall cleanups. And then after that, we're going to be passing out, we got about 1,500 leaf cleanup postcards. Actually, the postcard template and design that we have available at launchpreneuracademy.com is the exact same one that I use. So I said, well, I'm going to design new postcards for us. Let's make these templates available. They're like $75. You can download those, get the art template, and then go get those printed up at your local print shop, a Vistaprint or Postcard Mania, which is our preferred vendor. And you know, so it's been an exciting week and a half. The first couple of days of doing leaf cleanups were a little rusty, to be honest with you. Pretty sure everything broke down like one time, at least. The mower broke down. The hydro had something issue. We broke a belt. The U-mount was acting up. That got fixed. Just a little thing we didn't know. But there's something going on with the impeller inside, and so that was covered and warranted. I think we had some issue with the billy goat debris loader. I was puffing a little bit of smoke, had a little too much oil in it. So pretty much everything that could have like worked the rust out of the system that first 3 or 4 days did. And I'm kind of glad for that, because this week we're doing pretty well. We had a good, I think a Monday, Wednesday, and we're going to work Friday. We took Tuesday off. It was just like 20 degrees out and snowing, believe it or not. It was like flurries of snow. And then this Thursday, which is actually today when I'm shooting this podcast for you guys, so we're shooting this real time. It's a 40 mile an hour, 50 mile an hour wind day. So I woke up this morning like 7 a.m. There was wind gust advisories, and I went, oh, well, that's exciting. And of course, it happens to be on the day that's 50 degrees out, right? Every other day this week is 30s and 40s, and today it happens to be 55 degrees, I think was the high. And then tomorrow is 65 degrees. So hopefully the wind kind of dies down this evening. It's supposed to pass through about later this evening and night, and then hopefully we can have a nice, beautiful 60-degree day tomorrow, doing 5 out of the 8 left cleanups that we have on the books, and then also maybe start tackling a few Monday. But that's what we're going to do. Monday, going forward, we got 25 yard signs that are coming in that say leaf cleanups starting at $199. You know, most of ours have been $275, $3 1/4, somewhere around there, a couple fours, which is really nice. And then the yard signs also say curbside leaf pickup. So we've got this curbside leaf pickup. I'll try to make an Instagram post. So maybe check our Instagram, Brian's Lawn Maintenance, and we'll show you guys the new design that we had made up from our print shop. But it was funny because I've just been trying to grow business and make more money. So I said, well, let's do curbside leaf pickup with the new debris loader, right? So the debris loader, we're going to do $125 starting at leaf cleanup curbside pickup. And that's probably for, 5 or 10 yards of leaves curbside, which reduces pretty well with that debris loader. Somebody said 12-to-1 reduction. So that's what we got going on. We're doing leaf cleanups. We're crushing it. We're making some money. We had a couple $2,000 plus gross revenue days, which we need that. And from here on out, after we get through our initial 25 to 30 cleanups for our business, we're going to be looking to try to fill in the cracks with keeping everybody working, keeping everybody moving as long as the weather holds out. So without further ado, let's do this. Those are some of the updates that I got going on in my life. You guys always know that I also enjoy listening to our producer, Marty, Mr. Producer, give you guys the updates about what's going on with the podcast, Launchpreneur Academy, and so much more. So let's kick it over to him, and we'll come right on back.
Thanks much, Brian. If you can see the time display on your podcast app or the console of your car, you know this ain't going to be no 20-minute podcast, which is fine by me. I enjoy not only producing the show, but listening to it along with you guys as well. I want you to hang in there. We're going to hit some of your show reviews a little bit later. And right now, a special shout out to Fuel Cred for sponsoring today's episode. If you have not downloaded the app that you're about to hear about in the commercial, make a mental note to do so at the conclusion of Fullerton Unfiltered. Listen up. Do you use fuel in your business? Do you use fuel in your off-road equipment? From lawnmowers to trimmers, blowers, generators, and tractors, if you use fuel in your business for off-road purposes, you are owed a 100% refund of fuel tax. On average, that's about $600 a year for users of Fuel Cred. How do you get your money? That's easy. Fuel Cred is the #1 fuel tax refund app on the market. Just download the mobile app. Connect a credit card and Fuel Cred does the rest. It automatically logs your fuel transactions, finds the cheapest fuel based on your fuel habits, and automates your fuel tax refund. Download the free Fuel Cred app, get your fuel tax refund, and save up to 40% on fuel today.
Lawns, lessons, and live. This is the Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast. Now, your host, Brian Fullerton.
All right, good deal, guys. We'll always appreciate Mr. Producer taking the time and effort and energy to produce the show for you guys. I'm always nervous that he's going to get signed up with Joe Rogan or something like that and go to the stratosphere, which he is definitely deserving of doing. But in the meantime, Paul Jameson and myself on the Green Industry Podcast, we're lucky to have Mr. Producer who brings you guys the show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So don't forget to follow him on Instagram, by the way. It's at Mr. Producer USA. And by the way, a lot of you guys have noticed have been taking advantage of his voiceover work. He's got the golden radio voice, the sexy voice on the phone and on the radio. I don't know how he does it. He said he went to voice school. I don't know what that really means. Sort of like Morgan Freeman. They learn to enunciate, right? So just having fun, but he's got the golden voice, and so many of you guys have been using him for your Facebook ads, your just some Instagram ads, and they're actually turning out really, really well, and it's actually pretty nominal. So if you guys need a good voice actor and somebody to do some live reads for you, check that out. It's actually pretty cool. Get you an art file or a media file, and then you just add that to the video and shoot the video backwards, shoot the video forward, whatever you got to do, get it to him, and he can always do the voiceover work and help you come up with a script. So those are some of the updates going on with my life. What else I have written down here before we get into the charge cards on file is, welcome to the show. If you guys are new to the show, thank you for listening. Maybe this is your first episode. Maybe this is your second or third. Bear with me. Some episodes are more X's and O's. Some of them are me more ranting. Other times we have guest interviews. I love the guest interviews because I love hearing a different perspective out there than just what's going on in my world, my ecosystem, my local economy, my local state, right? Everybody's different. For example, we're shut down. We're in lockdowns again. Things are kind of limited up here. We're still working, thankfully. But I try to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and it's shut down. And then some of you guys are living the dream in Georgia and Florida and a couple different states, and things are opened up. No masks, no nothing, and just business as usual, and life is normal. And I'm like, what is that like? Because I think we're day 253 for the 15-day shutdown, if you guys know what I'm saying, flatten the curve. But again, what do I know? So here's the deal. So welcome to the show if you're new, and then also if you guys are following along on Instagram, thank you as well. We had 1,900 new followers in the last 30 some days after my account literally got out of Instagram jail and being shadow banned and blocked to the John Q public. Welcome out. So if you guys don't think that big tech doesn't censor, you are living under a rock, because even little lowly O'Brien here making some digs and jabs at my governor, who I disagree with her policies, and she somebody, I'm not saying who, I'm not saying what, but I got charts and stats and data. So she's one that always pounce around with facts, is what she likes to say. I actually have real facts and real data and screenshots, and we had 16 followers in the month of, October, and that's basically impossible. So we were adding about 1,000, 1,200 a month, and you just see this huge valley. So if you guys are new to the podcast, maybe you found us from Instagram, I got to say a big shout out and thank you to following along. And you know what? Maybe we disagree once in a while, but that's okay. Okay, you're allowed to still disagree. You're allowed to not get butthurt. You're allowed to have difference of opinion. By the way, you guys have difference of opinions all the time. I respect them. I love them. If somebody's going to go negative and south and just be a butt, that's okay. Well, block, delete, ban. It's okay. That's why those buttons are there. But you know what? I learned from you guys. You guys learn from me. We're all in it together, man. I don't have it all figured out. This is just one guy with one voice, and we're just trying to all grow together. So just looking at my phone here, a couple little notes. Welcome to the jungle. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And here we are. So what I just wanted to do, just a short and sweet episode today, was maybe streamlining a couple thoughts, or maybe you guys know the process of what we do for our credit cards on file, how we charge, how we bill. But maybe let's work on a little brain surgery, a couple different thought process things that will be coming up on 2 different coaching calls this week. So if you guys don't know, we offer coaching calls. That's where you get a 1 hour one-on-one with myself. I'm not, painting the fence. I'm not, cleaning the house. I'm not vacuuming the carpet. I'm there. I'm sitting at my desk. I personally just space out and I want to listen to you. I am 100% focused. I've been on so many other coaching calls where sometimes that's what's the case with me asking questions. And another time I know that the guy's running a 5K. That's what it feels like. And I'm like, dude, are you even listening to me? Are you even there? So I always try to make the point to, hey, you're paying good money. You got good questions. Some of you guys shoot me the questions beforehand. Some of you times, I can tell you guys have a list of like 7 or 8 questions on a legal pad, and we just try to chomp through as much as we can within that hour. The calls usually always go long. I can't promise that, but I don't think there's a call that's been an hour that I haven't done for at least an hour, hour and a half. So, because I just want to help. If I got time and it's blocked out, usually Liz is at Bible study or she's cooking dinner, and I'm like, hey, do you mind if I camp out here, help somebody out for an hour? She's like, no, go ahead. So we do a lot of coaching calls, 4, 5, 6 a week. It's pretty cool. I love helping you guys. So that's where some of this stems from, is some of these recent conversations and topics. And again, it came up twice in 1 week, and I'm like, we got a couple of podcasts already out on this topic, but let's revisit it. Maybe some people are new, and let's just keep it really simple. So we're talking lawn care, we're talking landscaping, we're talking having a lawn and landscaping business. And the context for me was, after about 10, 12 years of running my lawn and landscaping business, we started to grow our customers, we started to grow our business. We had 123 customers that we were doing weekly maintenance for about 2 years ago. I think that was like my height, my top of the number that we had for customers. We were way top heavy. Right back now, we've settled down to about 85 weeklies. Those are residential. We have 4 HOAs and 4 commercial sites that we manage. And one of the HOAs is like 7 acres. It's a pretty big property. It takes us a good 3 to 4 hours to do. The other ones are like entrances and ponds and little retaining walls, just simple stuff, right? So we're a maintenance business primarily, but we do offer mulch. We do offer aerations, overseeding, of course, snow plowing, but I'm just talking about the lawn and landscape summer services. Hedge pruning once in a while if I get frisky. I actually have a couple good buddies that can do that for me. One of my friends, Chaz, who's an amazing guy, runs a landscaping company in Northville, Michigan. He does immaculate, incredible hedge pruning and hedge trimming work. So I've been filtering a lot of that to him this summer in 2020. But most of the time, 70% of our summer revenue is probably coming in through lawn maintenance. I don't have a pie chart where it's all broken down, but that's kind of where we're at. And a lot of you guys have heard me say that we went from being a full-time debt collector to a full-time lawn care landscaping business owner. And I'm just being serious. And it's kind of funny. So here's what I wanted to talk about, was the thought process of why we did what we did with moving the cards on file. And then also the thought process of how to get those customers to buy in to this new system of payment that I sold them on it being convenient for them. And it is. But the reality is I wanted the convenience of having my cash flow, my business, stability, security, predictability, projections. So that's what I want to get into. So to go full circle, after about 12 years, we had 123 customers. And guys, we had young, we had old, we had skinny, we had fat, we had white, we had black, we had Asian, we had rich, we had poor, we had trailer park, we had $1 million homes, the whole gamut. Okay. So I want to start maybe dispelling some of these myths and excuses that, well, I can't get my customers to do a card on file. People around here don't do that. Fill in the blank, okay? And I'm not being rude or disrespectful. I just mean sincerely. I heard a bunch of it. In fact, that's where I was 3.5 years ago. And this isn't a silver bullet, but it's a really good way to get your cash flow in line, especially if you're a maintenance business. And if you're a landscaper, I got some pro tips here that I'm going to help you guys out with as well. So when I was trying to switch over from being a debt collector, and what do I mean? Well, I had 123 customers, and we would do the end of month invoicing, right? And eventually we wised up and we were doing like the e-bill. We got away from like the cash, the check, the PayPal, the Venmos, the 19 different ways to pay. And we did everything through Square. And then we went from Square to Yardbook. And in that transition, I already knew that I was going to be transitioning my CRM, my customer relationship management software. That's what we use to manage our customers, track our business, schedule jobs, schedule tasks, customer data, customer profile, right? For finances and taxes, we use QuickBooks and we have a bookkeeper. But for running of the business, to know what's going on in my company, we use Yardbook. Yardbook is a solid CRM, little plug for that. There's a couple other options out there. Figure out what works best for you. Demo a few, try a few, ask a few buddies out, watch a couple YouTubers and see what person has what business model, and then see what software they're using, and then filter through all the bull crap because everybody's sponsored. And then, there you go, then figure out what works best for your business model. If you're doing 0 to 400 grand, a lot of lawn care, a lot of landscaping, Yardbook might be a great option. If you're doing a couple $100,000 and you want a little bit more advanced features, maybe it's a Jobber. You want to run $1 million company, you might be looking at SAP, LMNOP, all of the above. Okay. So just having fun. LMN, great people, great software. So again, don't just say, well, I want to get on this or I want to get on that. Figure out how much it costs. Figure out what makes sense for your business model. Some are free. Some have different fees. Just figure it out. Okay. So let's just keep going. When I was switching over from Square, I went to Yardbook and I said, well, if I'm already switching over my CRM, I'm going to switch over my whole billing and payment system. And the long story short of it is we would do 123 weekly cuts. We'd run a monthly tab. At the end of the month, we would send the invoice, right? And some of you guys have heard me say this, so I'll be a little bit more brevity to it, is the fact that we would send out all of the invoices. A week later, I'd get $4,000. The second week, I'd get $1,500. The third week, I'd get $1,800. The fourth week, I'd get $1,200. And let's say that was 10 or 12 out of the 15, 17, 18, 20 grand that we were billing out. And so I always had $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 owed to me. And so what would happen? Well, on the fifth week, what are we doing? Well, generally speaking, we're already invoicing for the next month. We had 4 weeks in June. Now we're into that first week of July. We would send out all the invoices out through the first week of July. We'd mow all through July and still none of the, 20, 30% of that money was still owed to us. And what we were doing, we started to invoice for July. And so like these customers were notoriously all the freaking time, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks late or not paid yet. And we always had $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 out there. We would always have 20, 30, 40% of the money still owed to us. And you're like, well, those are certain, you just weren't managing your customers right. Correct. But we were still just like you guys, net 7, net 14, net 21, right? And so because I didn't put any urgency or priority on it, my customers didn't put any urgency or priority on it. And I just realized I was the problem, right? Extreme ownership. I was the problem. I had to fix this. So what did we do? As we were switching our CRMs, I just said, you know what? From here on out, we're doing billing a different way. I got in the business to cut grass and beautify people's properties and give them back their weekends. I did not get in the business to chase money down. And here was the straw that broke the camel's back that I told, who was I talking to? Roger. I don't know if it was right. No, Bob. I was talking to Bob. These are not made up names. Okay. I was talking to Bob. Shout out to Bob. He's over in Cleveland. He knows who he is. And, Southeast Ohio, I think. And we were just talking the other night. And what happened was I said the straw that broke the camel's back for me was I was on the porch steps of one of my customers on Christmas Eve. He's a robotics engineer, has a badass, Hellcat Charger, the 4-door one, right? The car. He owed me 3 months worth of lawn care. He owed me for, August. He owed me for September, and he owed me for October. And I just kept mowing. And no problem, dude. We'll catch up with you. No problem. Text me. Yeah, check's in the mail. Like Paul Jameson always says, right? And I've told the story before, but fast forward, somehow, some way, it made it to Christmas Eve. And it was like 3.5, 4 years ago, guys. This is like really, really fresh. Like not even 4 years ago. My business today, our money today, our life today, our finance today, it's not even the same freaking galaxy. 4 years ago is a rube. And basically, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Was I was sitting on this guy's steps of his front porch of his house. Nice home, subdivision home that we cut. We don't cut them anymore. And I was knocking on his door, and it's 20 degrees out. It's Christmas Eve, and I got no money in my bank account. Christmas Eve is the busiest shopping day of the year, believe it or not, way more than Black Friday. And we'll get that fact checked by Naylor Taliaferro, Mr. Retail Management. And I had no money. I had no Christmas presents bought. And homie owed me like $320 or $340, whatever it was. A couple 5-week months maybe mixed into there. And I remember knocking on this dude's door. He said, "Hey, come on over Christmas Eve. I'll give you a check." And he gave me this whole long story when I got the check. "Oh, dude, I was a robotics engineer. I was out of town for 6 weeks in Mexico, and I came back and travel ball, man, travel something. It's all about the kids, ha ha ha." And this guy's like 220, 6'4", wears the Oakleys backwards, kind of a baseball dad, right? And I'm like, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, cool. Give me my $350, bro. And I'm just being real. And so he gives me a check, and he's like, "Yeah, then I went back to Mexico." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about your job, your career, or nothing. Like, pay the man. Like, give me my money." And what I did is I took that check, I deposited it with like the Chase Quick Pay or whatever I did 4 years ago. They, how they free up like a couple $100 immediately. And then I went over to my mall locally, 12 Oaks Mall, and I bought a couple Christmas presents for my wife, my mom, and whoever else. And dude, I felt like such a loser. And I was like, dude, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Every dollar counts. It's only $340, but it might as well felt like $3,400. You guys know what I'm saying? When it's like, when you're down to the last wire and you're like, man, I'm like trying to get every dollar I can in before winter because I don't want to be chasing people down during Christmas week. Because after Christmas and after January 1st, you are like very unlikely to be getting your money if you're up in the Midwest, right? Once people get to Thanksgiving and they start buying Christmas presents instead of paying your lawn care bill, you're toast. And I knew that. Again, after 12 years, I could literally start a debt collection agency right now. I know what day people get paid, where they're at, what they're doing. I was like, man, if I text people on this day, and every day I was texting 4 or 5 random people. I'm like, yo, hey, just wanted to remind you about that invoice, and then you do like little pistols, like little guns, you're like, yeah, all right, man. And like, oh yeah, we're going to get on that this week. We've just been busy. I'm like, okay, it's been 5 weeks. If you could pay that, that'd be nice because I'm broke and I need gas. And so what was like my life like? My finances sucked. We never had any surplus. We never had any predictability. We never had any buffer. We could never really hire anybody effectively because I didn't know if I could afford paying them, right? So anyway, short story long, let's just move forward and we'll just try to give you the abridged version, like I said, was I wanted everything to change. And I said, look, I'm going to do credit cards on file. I give a ton of credit to Jonathan with Florida Turf Pros. And I just happened to catch one of his videos. I watch a lot of your guys' videos. It's impossible for like anybody to consume all of them, especially when you're creating content. But I try to watch certain people's channels because they put out actual valuable content. And I'm listening to Jonathan, Florida Turf Pros. He's like, yeah, dude, like we do charge cards on file and we get our cash every week. And I just remember him saying something like that. I don't know if it was an Instagram post or I think it was on a YouTube video. And I said, come again? And so I shot him an email or a DM or somehow I got his number. I said, hey, bro, I don't know if you know me, Brian's Law Maintenance. And can I pick your brain? And he goes, yeah. And I think I talked about this on another podcast. But the short story long is I asked him, how did you do this? What are you doing? And is it working for you? And he said, yeah. I think he charged cards on file weekly. Now I do monthly. And I was like, dude, this could change everything for me. So what I did was we started selling and convincing all of our customers on moving to a charge card on file system. And so here's a couple thought processes that I wrote down that I wanted to explain more than just the X's and O's, okay? When we wanted to move to the charge card on file system, it was to get my cash flow in line. When we do 15 grand a month or 17 grand a month in maintenance, and I do charge cards on file, which means we mow all month. At the end of the month, we do a manual invoice. We click charge on card on file because we have a card on file, and we click the send receipt button. We send a little paragraph of like upsells, in the receipt because we do a soft touch with 100 plus customers a month. Why wouldn't you put something in the paragraph to upsell? Hey, now scheduling, and then whatever we're doing for the next 6 weeks. In the spring, it's pruning and mulch. In the summer, it's fall and cleanups and aerations. In the fall, it's winter. In the winter, it's spring, right? So you're invoicing customers 6-7 times a year, monthly or whatever. always be selling abs, not always be closing your ABCs, right? So always be upselling ABU, but that doesn't sound as cool. And so what happened was we said we're doing a new charge card on file system, and we had 121 out of 123 people adopt our credit card on file system that spring in 2017, whatever it was, over winter. And 2 of them dropped. One of them, she was a butthead. She didn't want to do it at all. She goes, well, I don't have any credit cards or debit cards. I go, and 10 other people gave that same excuse too. And I go, you have a mortgage and you live in a house and you have cars and you have an electric bill. Like, how do you not have a debit card or credit card? Yeah, we don't have any of that. I go, okay, well then we have a seasonal prepay option. So here's what I was going to say. For me personally, and let's go to the extreme. I'm going to be a little bit more firm, a little bit more butthead, just to make the point. Okay. So what I'm saying is not baked in people skills. Okay. I'm a very nice guy, extremely cordial, extremely understanding, very set people at ease. But let's get to the extreme, because we got to stop letting the tail wag the dog. That's why I noticed that a lot of us notoriously are letting the tail wag the dog in so many little tiny aspects of our business. And per our podcast this last Monday, it's not the big things that get us. It's the little things, right? In business, it's the death by 1,000 paper cuts. And so what her issue was, she didn't want to put one on file. I said, well, we do a seasonal prepay, 5% off. That means every service for the year. Total it up, it's $1,200, $2,100, whatever it is, and we'll do a seasonal prepay, 5% off. And she still didn't want to bite. And I said, honestly, she's kind of a headache, kind of a butt customer. Her lawn was difficult. I said, no problem. We're just not for you. And funny thing is, Bedell knows this story. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like 8 weeks later, we're all out there. Bedell's doing his first round of FERT, and I'm out there mowing, and her lawn doesn't get cut. And so she comes running out to Bedell, who's doing one of my properties, like her neighbor. And she goes, hey, do you do lawn maintenance, or do you have a card? And he goes, no, ma'am, I don't. I only do Brian's Lawn Maintenance's FERT accounts in here. But if you need a good guy, Brian's Lawn Maintenance is the way to go. And she goes, oh, well, I had him. And he goes, well, you're not going to find anybody better. And she goes, yeah, okay. And this is Bedell telling me the story of like this depressing look that she had. And I'm like, thanks, Bedell. Like, get it. So, cause I'm just like you guys. I like being right at the end of the day. And that's just funny right there. And so we moved to the charge card on file system. And so what we did is we told all of our customers, hey, and here's what I want to get to. It is a convenience for them. They don't have to worry about the bill. They don't have to know if they have an account balance. They don't have to know if they sent the check in the mail. They don't have to figure out whether or not they did the bill pay, the Chase Quick Pay, the Bank of America bill pay, the Huntington bill pay, where you get like a certified check in the mail from their bill pay. They don't have to add you as a vendor or a lawn service provider to their checking account, quick bill pay. They don't have to measure any of these things. They don't have to measure. They don't have to remind. They don't have to track. None of it, okay? It is a massive convenience, and that's what I lead with. I say, hey, so 2 different things going on here. One's a new customer, one's an existing customer. So existing customers, you have these calls in the fall or the winter of 2020 going into the spring, and we're going to steer the boat. We're going to adjust, right? And we're going to start telling all these customers, we're going to start saying, hey, Sue, hope all is well. Just looking to renew for you for next spring. Awesome. Yep. Great. Yeah, honey, go ahead. Same program as last year. Yep. Awesome. Hey, cool deal. Well, one thing that we just wanted to mention is, and by the way, this could be a soft rollout than a full hard rollout. I know some of you guys the new customers you sign up are on credit cards on file because that's how you're starting them, right? But you can say, hey, last year was a soft rollout, or maybe this is a new program. But you can say whatever you want to say is, hey, we have a new system that we're going to be moving to. It is a credit card on file system. You are going to love this. This is going to be the most exciting thing that we've ever really brought to the table in the last 12 months. We're excited about this change and this innovation. It is going to absolutely be the biggest convenience for you that you've ever had. We've had great acceptance and adoption with it, with a majority of our customers. 80% of people have already converted over, and people are loving it. We're going to be moving to a charge card on file system, which means we're going to send you a credit card link to store your credit card on file. And what we're going to do is cash out for all of our lawn service work that we do at the end of the month. It's going to be an auto pay system where we cash out. You don't have to worry about the bill, the balance, whether you paid, whether you didn't pay, whether the check's in the mail. I think you're absolutely going to love it. Hey, Susie, really simply, just to break it down, if we do 4 weekly cuts for you at $40 a week, that's $160 a month, and you're a Tuesday cut, you'll be billed on the last Wednesday of the month. So the last Tuesday plus 1 day. Extremely simple. By the way, we don't see access to the credit card or the info. We don't get to, we're not going to debit hold anything. We're not going to pre-authorize anything. You're not going to see any charges until the end of the month when we cash out. It might take a month or two to kind of get used to it, but I think you're absolutely going to love it. So, hey, Susie, I'm going to send you that credit card on file link. But beyond that, is there any other questions you got while I got you? But if not, we'll see you here in the first week of March once the weather breaks to do your spring cleanup. Oh, okay, honey, that's awesome. Send me the link and I'll make sure to add that on file. Awesome. Okay, and then they say, well, I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, cool. And my answer is, well, hey, this is the only way we're going to be taking payments besides a seasonal prepay option, Susie, in 2021. And I'm just telling you guys, you don't have to do any of this. This is just what I did. Is I said, hey, I understand, maybe you have a little bit of concern, a little apprehension. Who doesn't? But honestly, we've had a majority of our customers adopt this. It's been great for us, great for you guys. I think you're really going to love it. You're literally going to not have to think about your lawn maintenance or your lawn maintenance bill for the next 7 months. Everything's going to be auto pay, charge card on file, super streamlined. I think you're really going to love it. All right, well, I kind of like a physical invoice or a manual invoice, something that I can pay, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So let's go into the thought process. Here's what I got written down. Number one, and this is some of the stuff that we were working through with a gentleman on a coaching call, and it was a great coaching call. So I'm taking a private story. We're making it public, no names. But this is the stuff that I had to work through, and I just called BS on some of this stuff just right out of the gate. And also other people were saying, like, oh, this isn't going to work. And I'm like, okay, well, what does Caleb Allman always say? Like, the man with experiences, man with an opinion is always at the mercy of a man with experience. Well, this isn't, my opinion. This is my experience. I guess it's still my opinion, but compared to somebody else's opinion who hasn't done this, take it through a grain of salt. But here's what we found. 121 people out of 123 transitioned over. One lady didn't. She was a butt. And the other guy, I've told this story 100 times. He was like 92. I don't know if he's like the last, living World War II vet or what. Guy's 92. I swear to God, he's like the guy on the Six Flags commercials that's like on top of the bus dancing around. This guy could roundhouse kick you in the head if you needed to, okay? He's 92. He's cute as a button. I think he wears sandals in the shower so he doesn't fall down the drain because he's like 100 pounds. But he's the cutest dude ever, like cutest old man you've ever seen. He's got like the dockers that come up to like his waistline, like to his nipples, because he's like a little shriveled dude, like Mole Man from Simpsons. Anyway, but he's a great dude. He's an amazing guy. I love him. On the 4th week of the month, he comes out with the check in hand. Homie's always home, and he's always like, 120? Here he goes. He goes, $90? And this old white guy, he goes, $90? And I go, no, Mr. Peter. I said, we did 4 cuts this month, 120. He goes, $90. I go, no, Peter, 120. He goes, I'm just messing with you, son. I know you were here 4 times. Just take the check. Go, and here's a little bit extra for you and the lady. Take her to dinner. And he's the coolest dude ever. He messes with me. I'm like, man, what a generation that gets it, can have fun, and has thick skin. And he's not anyway, the generation today is just ridiculous compared to how they used to make him, right? Is a beautiful thing. So 121 other customers all switched over. Everybody, man. And we had probably 30% of the people. I didn't have like this huge case study, okay? But I'm sure a third of them said, well, I don't know. I just, I don't feel comfortable giving you a credit card. Well, let's work through that. Why are they not feeling comfortable giving you a credit card on file?
And the answer to that question is coming up shortly. Hey, Brian, it really wouldn't hurt to take a sip of water every now and then. Here's your Mr. Producer podcasting pro tip for the day. Good hydration is essential to stopping much of the mouth noise. That mouth noise that a good podcast producer would actually cut out of the show. Yeah, the mucus in the mouth thickens, and that's why I want you to keep working on that Essentia sponsorship. Now, I tell you what it really tells me. Brian's been out in the field busting his rear end. I've been sitting in the studio drinking Paul's Pellegrino, so it's easy for me to talk about that. Hey, let's hear from today's valued sponsor, some show reviews coming up, and then Brian's answer to the credit card on file question follows. Do you use fuel in your business? Do you use fuel in your off-road equipment? From lawnmowers to trimmers, blowers, generators, and tractors, if you use fuel in your business for off-road purposes, you are owed a 100% refund of fuel tax. On average, that's about $600 a year for users of Fuel Cred. How do you get your money? That's easy. Fuel Cred is the #1 fuel tax refund app on the market. Just download the mobile app. Connect a credit card and Fuel Cred does the rest. It automatically logs your fuel transactions, finds the cheapest fuel based on your fuel habits, and automates your fuel tax refund. Download the free Fuel Cred app, get your fuel tax refund, and save up to 40% on fuel today.
Ratings and reviews. Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
You guys keep these incredible reviews coming in. This one's from Kevin. He says, what an amazing episode. Episode number 131 was. Brian, thank you for an even more in-depth explanation of death by 1,000 paper cuts. I listened to the episode twice and got something different out of it each time. Thanks for all the hard work you do to give back to the community. Again, that is from Kevin at 2K's Lawn via Apple Podcast. This one says, I am a single man, 35 years old, looking for... No, I'm not reading that one. Great podcast, genuine family. Come on, guys. Yeah, straighten up. Great podcast, genuine family guy, easy to listen to, very knowledgeable. Appreciate your hustle, Brian. Very motivating. Keep it up. Courtesy of Green Jacket Lawn Care out of Toronto. How about that? Awesome, fun, and inspiring. I am loving this podcast. Brian Fullerton packs every episode with tons of amazing content, guests, and interviews that will motivate, uplift, and inspire you. I highly recommend. Thank you, Stacy Shapiro. This one is simply entitled Squirrel, and maybe it'll make sense to you after we read this. Brian has some straight fire topics. Great guests, great info. Love the episodes where it's Brian by himself and he goes off on a tangent. Hey, look, squirrel. He gets super emotional about what he's saying because he really only wants all of us to thrive. Now, occasionally he loses. Now, this is not me, Brian. This is coming from Preston. Occasionally he loses sight of the topic at hand and takes a turn into left field, and it takes him a minute or 5 to get back on track. But that just shows that he's human. A human who's passionate about what he's saying and loves sharing stories somewhat related to that day's topic. Keep it up. And that, again, is from Preston. I'm not sure what to think about that one. Finally, from Followell Lawn Care, pure awesomeness. I've been waiting a while for this. I am listening to all of them as I am on my way to Florida. Keep up the awesome work. Thanks, guys.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
I don't know. I just, I don't feel comfortable giving you a credit card. Well, let's work through that. Why are they not feeling comfortable giving you a credit card on file? Maybe they don't trust you, or maybe you sound not trustworthy. Okay, so when you're on the phone, rehearse this 10 times, have your script, and that way you know what to say and you sound confident. Don't just make the first call. Of course, the first one, you're going to be a little shaky and a little weird, but after the third call, it's going to be normal. But, say it 5 times at home. Go in your car, go in your truck. The wife won't see you. You won't, your husband won't see you if you're a wife doing this. And just be like, all right, I'm going to do this for the first time. And get it all out. Yeah. Role play in the car, role play in the office, role play in your bedroom. Well, don't role play in the bedroom. That's a whole nother story. Role play in the office, and you can get this out of your system so you know what you're going to say the correct way the first couple times. And go easy on yourself. The first 1 or 2 times you're going to mess it up. But if they don't trust you, it's because they don't trust your voice flexion. They don't trust your confidence. You don't sound confident. That's usually where people are going to stem from I'm not going to give you a credit card on file. The other side of it is, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? So you guys see in my little spiel how we preemptively handle a bunch of this stuff. We don't get to see the info because they're wondering if you're going to go to Nordstrom after and go buy, a bunch of those Alaskan coats that are $1,000. No, we don't get access to your credit card. We don't get access to the numbers. We also don't put a debit hold or a credit hold on it. So there's no $100 pre-authorization like when you check into a hotel for incidentals. Okay. And you're only going to see a charge at the end of the month, so they know when it's going to come. So again, if your last Thursday cut of the month is on the 27th of the month of June, and you're a Thursday cut, we always say it's going to be the next day. Okay, so if you're all Thursdays, we charge card on the last day of the month plus a day. So that Friday morning or that Friday evening, because when I get home, let's just be realistic. I get done cutting 25, 30, 32 lawns in a day, and it's, 6 o'clock, and I'm done fueling up and doing a couple bids or estimates and return phone calls. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm not going right into the office that night to do that day's invoicing. Maybe you do. For most owner operators, no way. The next day, the next night, you can go wrap that up. But do it within 24 or 48 hours max. Don't finish your month on the 27th and then charge cards on file the 5th, of the next month. Like that's like an 8-day window, right? So that's not the way to do it. Just be consistent. Figure out a system for you and just make it consistent. But the credit cards on file thing, the trust factor, why would they not trust you to be their new lawn service provider? I love what Jeff Joyner said. There's a vendor, then you're a strategic partner, then you're a, like a raving fan. And then there was Apostle. He had this like awesome spectrum, and they talked at our live event. Well, if these people, even if they're brand new, you should have a good phone call conversation. Even if the phone call conversation to sign somebody up is 3 to 4 minutes, my average phone call setting up a new customer is probably 3 minutes. I mean, it is simple. Hey, send us a text message with your full name, your full address, your full email, your full phone number, and we'll get you added into our system. Later on tonight, look for an email from Yardbook, Y-A-R-D book. That's our CRM, what we use to manage our business. You'll see an email come through. It says a charge card on file link. Just open it up, populate your credit card info, click save. It literally takes you 30 seconds. Oh, okay, honey, we'll look for that later tonight. And then when you get home, and why text message it to you? Why not take it into pen and paper? Because the pen and paper, it ain't going to last. It's not going to last in your truck. You don't need your employees seeing all the customer data. Maybe you got a smaller business. Maybe you got a bigger business. You don't want all your guys to be seeing that. And text message is a paper trail, right? You got a paper trail that they signed up. Why else would you have their info? Of course, they signed up. So if push ever came to shove, my friend Bedell always says, start a paper trail. Well, once you have that, okay, you get home at 8 o'clock at night, that text message is probably 20 deep in your text messages on your phone, but at least it's there, right? Screenshot it if you want, then delete it later so you don't got a bunch of data in your phone like that. And then later on that night, you can get home and populate that all into your CRM. But why would they not trust you to give you a credit card? I mean, if they're signing up with you, they expect you to be on their property 26 times a year minimum, maybe 6 for an app. So now you're there between 26 and 32 times. You're going to be doing the spring and fall cleanup. Now you're there 34 times. You're going to do an aeration overseed. Now you're there 35 times. You're going to be doing the snow, maybe do a $450 seasonal prepay. You're going to be there 8 times. So you're going to be at this person's home basically once a week for the year when you add it all up. And that person doesn't want to give you a credit card on file because they don't trust you, right? Like we're just talking out loud. I'm not trying to be a butt and make points, but I got to make some points so we can understand the thought process here. You're going to be a strategic partner. You're going to be a friend, right? And I always tell people, yeah, like I'm going to see you in the community. At 5 o'clock, I'm done, you're done. People go grocery shopping at night. I'm going to see you out at your local grocery store in the evening. On Friday night, I'm going to see you at the Nice Steakhouse or the Olive Garden or whatever, taking my wife out just like you're taking your wife out. On Saturday, I'm going to see you at some sporting event around town or at a farmer's market. And on Sunday, I'm probably going to see you at your house of worship, right? I'm going to see you at church. So like I'm in the community. So if you can't give me your credit card on file because you don't trust me, and I know we're kind of working through some remedial stuff here, but some of us have these blocks in our head, this blockage, and I'm trying to help you guys understand the thought process. Why wouldn't somebody trust you when you're going to be on their physical property 40, 50 times a year, and they have kids, they have a husband, they have wives? Like if you don't trust me to give me your credit card, then you have trust issues, and I don't want to be doing work for you. Because I'm not looking to have somebody who's all in on one end and somebody who's not all in on the other end, right? That's not partnership. That's called taking. And any relationship that's, a one-way street isn't going to last, right? So let's make sure that we're 100% giving, but if they're not willing to reciprocate, and you know what? That trust does take a couple weeks, maybe a couple months to build. But you know what? Hey, I've said this to the gentleman, Bob, that we were talking to. I said, with all due respect, we're not the variable. Now, I know there's a couple of butt heads in our industry, and they get pruned out every year, right? The lowball guy. But I'm not the variable when it comes to signing somebody up and whether or not I'm going to show up. I'm just not, okay? I've got a track record. Now, I don't care if the customer knows that or not, but here's what I've got. And you guys also have a $20, $40, $80, $100,000 rig going down the road and you're going to show up to that property. I'm not the variable of whether or not I'm going to show up. You're the variable of whether or not you're going to pay. Because in my history of doing this for 15 years, and we've serviced probably 1,500 to 2,000 clients over that time frame, right? One-offs, new customers, old customers, all that kind of stuff. I mean, literally probably 1,500 customers in my last 15 years. I've noticed pretty regularly in my business model, I'm not the variable. I'm the constant. Right? The customer, whether or not they're paying me, I don't know them. I've never done business with them. I don't know if they're going to pay. I don't know if they're going to sign me up and then stiff me. You know that there's some markets where that is the fun game to play. It's to get a contractor to do a $5,000, $7,000 job, then do a bunch of change orders, then say they're unprofessional, then go to guns, then say, well, we're going to sue each other. And then that customer is wealthy and you're not wealthy. They're 55 and they're connected. You're 30 and not connected. You don't have the time. They're retired and they play games with you. And you think I'm messing, but Bedell and I talk about this all the time. Like, I trust but verify. And that's what you got to do. So what's the verify? The verify is you put a credit card on file. If you're not willing to give me a credit card on file, you don't trust me, and we're already off on the wrong foot. I'm not going to trust you to pay the bill. And let's work through a couple other things. Just had some head trash, as Keith Kalfas talks about. Some other head trash is if they don't want to put a credit card on file, maybe they don't have money. Maybe they don't have $200, $300, $400 available on their credit card to be able to have a charge that comes through recurring for $100, $150 to $250, $300 a month. For some of you guys that do like the monthly flat bill pay, $300 a month will take care of everything, 12-month contract, awesome. But if they don't have the room for $300 a month, then maybe that's a red flag why they don't want to put a card on file. And you're like, man, I just can't get this person to sign up with a credit card because they don't have any money. And that's why their bill's always 10 weeks late. And you're like, you're beating your head on a wall. But the reality is like, the truth is right in front of you. I keep saying like, the truth is right in front of your face. Maybe they don't have any money and you're trying to like extract, water out of a rock. It's just not going to happen. So my attitude is, okay, well, if you don't have a card on file, then maybe you don't have the money to pay the bill. And if that's the case, that's fine. You're just not going to be the customer for us, right? So just a couple pieces of just trying to give some breakthrough, some thought process about it's okay to ask for a credit card on file. It's okay to do a charge card on file. It's not as hard as you think. And most people have an email. I'm telling you what, I had 30 different folks in the trailer park that my mom lives in, and it's not an indictment against trailer park people. I grew up in a trailer park. I can talk freely about this. I'm not in a trailer park. It has nothing to do with the trailer or this or social economics. That's what people think looking at trailer park people. But there's people that live in a trailer that make $40,000, $50,000 a year, and they just love the fact that they have a $350 a month lot rent and no house payment, and they have cash in the bank. And then there's the flip side of like the stereotypical person who lives in a trailer. That's fine too. By the way, you can do the same thing with somebody living in a $600,000 home. I mean, they got a Cadillac in the driveway, $600,000 home, and I go inside and I see beach chairs for their dining room and their living room, and no dining room table, no furniture, and their house poor. So I'm not making any digs here, okay? Just relax. It's unfiltered. So here's what we do is, I lost my train of thought there, but I've seen signing up 30 different trailer customers that live in trailers, and all 30 of them had credit cards, all 30 of them had emails. I have $1 million customers that have $1 million homes or whatever, and they have a credit card on file. So don't give me this, well, you don't know my customers, you don't know my market, or if I tried to do that, they would go with the next guy. That's fine. If you think that way, you're already right. I can't help you. But if you're open-minded and you want to make progress and you're sick and tired, maybe you're just not sick and tired yet. You're like, look, these excuses are fine. They work for me. For me, when I was knocking on a dude's door for $340 Christmas Eve, and I had no Christmas presents and no money, and I was sick and tired of money being owed me, I probably had like $1,200 total owed me. Because what happened? You guys probably imagine this. I didn't just go home after that and go to the mall. I probably tried to chase down the other three people that also owed me $200, $225, $325, and $175 or whatever. If it was one guy, I guarantee you there's 3 or 4 more out there. And now, Bedell and I always joke, and we're not heroes, but November 1st or December 1st, I'm like, hey, Bedell, what's your accounts receivable? How much is owed you? He goes, nothing. He goes, how much you? I go, nothing. And And I'm in the first week of the next month, in June, we finish up, and then we're in the first week of July. And but how much money's owed you? He goes, I got one landscaping job that's owed me. It's like $1,200, little prune job there for one of my clients. But for the most part, 99.9% of it, it's all in. It's all in. He doesn't do charge card on file, but he does invoicing. But he's got all of his invoicing figured out because he's got his customers trained. So it's not just credit cards on file, it's your invoicing. Get your billing under control. Get your cash flow under control. If you got your cash flow under control, I'm telling you, it'll open doors. Your rent's paid, your mortgage is paid, your employee salaries are paid. You can go finance new equipment. Two new mowers is $445 a month, whatever it is, 0%. I don't know if I can afford that payment. Well, not when you have no cash flow. Not when you don't have any cash flow. People rag on Grant Cardone, make jokes about him. The guy's balling out of control. At least he's got his cash flow under control. I mean, he can go finance a jet if he wants to. I think he paid cash for it. But if he did finance it and it's, $1 million a month, who cares? If he's got $20 million coming in cash, then who cares? It's just managing your cash flow, okay? For me, it set me at ease. It made my life 1,000% better. And here's what I was telling a couple of you guys, and I've said this before. I didn't mind if I lost 40%, 50% of my customer base anyway. I'm dead serious. I didn't care if I lost 50% of my customers because I wasn't getting 40 to 50% of my freaking money anyway. So I didn't care if I lost them. And in fact, if you canceled or didn't want to go with my new system or didn't want to sign up, that's okay. You were doing me a solid favor. You were illuminating how little of a strategic partner, a raving fan, or apostle you were going to be in my business and helping me reach my family's goals. Right? Like Grant Cardone says, who's got my money? If you didn't want to sign up that way, then I didn't need to do business with you. You were not going to help me reach my business goals. I was going to take care of your property. That was met, but you weren't going to help me. Ooh, one-way partnership. I'm out. And we're always, so many of us, we're begging. We're just, oh yeah, I'll get the check in the mail, or I'll get this, or fine, I'll come on Friday because you prefer Friday. We're just like always letting the tail wag the dog. And that's just no way to do it. For me, it got all my cash flow under control. I moved to a better place 18 months later after I got my cash flow. Oh, YouTube millions, man. You make all this money. No, dude. I finally had $17,000 months and minus credit card processing fees and this and that. A week later, I had 16.4 of it. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, we have $4,000 in the bank, then $12,000 in the bank, then like $10,000 in the bank, then we have $15,000. I remember we had like $20,000 cash in the bank. It was like 2 years ago. I was like, we've never, ever, ever had our money like this good. Like ever. And that was what 18 months ago, 2 years ago now, where we moved in this place 15 months ago. But the minute we got our cash flow in, we moved. And you want to know what changed? Everything, including my wife's attitude. Just having fun. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about, okay? If somebody's not willing to partner with you for a credit card on file, I'm not saying drop them. I'm just saying, what do you want? If that's your MO and that's the way you're going to do your cards on file moving forward, then that's what you're looking for. If you sign up with a new customer, I gave you the spiel, hey, send us all your info, charge card on file, boom, you get them. The way you get them is the way you can keep them. If you got them at $25 and no credit card on file, and it should be at $35 with a credit card on file, that takes a year or two to transition to get them there. But you know what? Cancel the $20, $25 cut, go pass out marketing materials, go get a new $35 cut, and start with a charge card on file, and just start solving problems, dude. Dissolve the bottom, dissolve the bottom and grow the top. I think Keith Kelfa says that all the time. And so I didn't care if I was going to lose 40% of my business because I was willing to hustle. I was willing to pass out postcards. And you guys think like I talk a lot and I'm this and I'm that, or, I'm just crazy. Yeah, I am. I'm willing to literally outwork everything and everybody. I don't care. Now, hard work is only going to get you so far. I've said this 1,000 times because I've realized that too. So it's hard work times smart work. But even at 34, things are pretty cush right now. But I tell my wife all the time, be prepared if everything went away immediately to hustle like you've never hustled before. And I still am in that mode. Oh, rent's due every day. Like I always say, my little saying, like you never own success. You can only rent it, and rent is due every day. Bro, I'm like trying to buy a $2.5 million Charlevoix home in 10 years, which is like my ultimate dream home, right? I'm hustling for that home right now. I've taken care of the now. I've taken care of tomorrow. I've taken care of the next 2-3 years. That money's there. That ship has sailed financially, okay? I'm like, dude, this is my shot. This is my shot to get my $2.5 million home to grow my landscaping company, to grow my social media company, to do whatever, just like you guys have goals. I'm working hard today so I can get to the next stuff. So I'm always working hard, always paying dues. And if a customer doesn't want to sign up with me, I'll replace you. No problem. I'll find somebody who's going to appreciate me and my company. And that we have this attitude of abundance, this attitude of opportunity. And lo and behold, who calls us? Hey, we're looking for lawn service in the area. Hey, no problem. We can sign you up. It's a $40 weekly cut, cut, trim, blow, edge. We see you every other week for the edging, and we cut, trim, blow, edge. And it's $40, for the lawn service, and we can sign you up, charge card on file. We cash out at the end of the month. So does that pretty much make sense? Any questions that you got? Oh, no, that's awesome. Yeah, when can we start? I'm like, well, what's your lawn look like? Does it need it this week, or do you want us to start next week? Oh, no, well, my husband just did it. We're transitioning, but yeah, we'd love to see if you guys can take over next week. All right, well, you're in this subdivision. That's our Tuesday cuts. We can see you Tuesday. We'll be there sometime between 8 and 4, and worst case scenario, we'll see you the Wednesday after. If you don't see us by that Wednesday, give me a shout if something came up, but if not, we'll normally text you beforehand, but we should see you there next week, Tuesday. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Lifesaver. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. Hey, just really quick, while I got you, we do a couple extra services too. We're full maintenance, full service. If you guys need fertilizer, you guys need mulch, you guys need snow removal, we do all the above, including cleanups. Just to keep that in the back of your mind. I'm not a hard sell, but you know what? We can't wait to start solving your problems, making your life easier, and giving you guys back your weekends. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, thanks, honey. We appreciate it so much. Keep in touch about that snow, but yeah, thank you. Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Okay, thanks. Bye. And that's it. It's super simple. It's not, hey, we take PayPal, we take Venmo. Can you get me this? Can you give me? And I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm just saying, move away from that. I said at my live event, like, you don't go to Home Depot and say, well, hey, they don't go, well, how do you want to pay? And you go, well, I'll Venmo you. I bought this new snowblower at $600. I'm going to Venmo you $600. Like, that's not the conversation. That's not a real, legit payment opportunity for anybody. Now, maybe some website takes Venmo or PayPal, and that's a normal way to pay. But like, actual traditional business, dude, it's cash, check, invoice, or charge card on file. And in fact, I was just literally telling my wife this morning. I went and got the mail. We don't check our mail. So if you guys mail me something, go to the P.O. box. I check it about every 2 weeks. And I check my personal mailbox. This is awful. I check my personal mailbox probably about every 29 days. Because just so I don't miss anything that doesn't have a charge card on file or an auto pay. But dude, we didn't check the mail for like 6 weeks. This is awful. We didn't check the mail for like 6 weeks. Everything is charge card on file. My electric bill, my internet, my water, my heat at this rental. What else was it? My land. So now we're like at the mortgage on the land. It's they did 2 drafts on that. It gets pulled out of the checking accounts, all this mess, all these things. And I happen to look at my credit cards. I check that like every 3 or 4 days. My credit card balances my checking account, like you guys do. And I was like, oh, the Mine came out. Oh, the DTE came out. Oh, the AT&T came out. It's all charge card on file. I go, Liz, we don't have to check the mail but once a month. Like, that's freaking exciting. Some people go and check the mail every day. And it's like 15 minutes a day to check the mail. Why aren't you using that to be productive? What are you missing in there? Like, why wouldn't you just let it all pile up and then spend 1/2 hour filtering all that crap out and then take that other 15 minutes times 30, what is that, 4.5, 5 hours, whatever, and take that 5 hours and go put it back into $100 per hour income producing activities or $400 income producing activities? I mean, I just love that kind of stuff. Like, why would I check that's the stupidest thing when you can have auto charge and charge card on file? And those customers, I don't want to give you a credit card. In fact, the credit card is the most safe and secure thing you could have in your financial repertoire. It's more safe than giving your somebody cash. It's more safe than giving somebody a check. It's more safe than anything because it's guaranteed. If there's an issue, you call the credit card company and they do a dispute and you have those funds back in, typically 7 to 10 days. It's the most secure thing. I'll tell you guys what, I'm a little crazy. And I'll button it up here. But I have probably right now 8 or 9 people that have my credit card numbers and a photo of it. My service guy does at my dealer. My sales guy does at my dealer. The sales manager at my dealer do. The store manager does. You guys know these people. They've been on the podcast and the show. I'm not sure if Bedell does, but if Bedell wanted it, I'd give it to him. I'm trying to think about, I mean, my mom has my credit card. My younger brother has my credit card. My wife has my credit card. There's 10 to 12 different people. My CPA has my credit card. My bookkeeper has my credit card because it's so secure. And I'm not saying be like flippant and, frivolous with your finances, your credit card, your info, but why are we working through this still in 2020? This is not circa 1999, you connecting to the internet with AOL and then wondering if somebody has, CAPTCHA on there, or whatever the Norton circle of approval that says this website is secure to take credit cards. Bro, it's 2020. It's 2020. And some of us, we have a business model from 1999 that's still holding us back. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not the pioneer of it. I've learned from other people. All right, guys. Well, as we wind it down here, these are just my thoughts on credit cards and just trying to help you guys navigate some of these waters. The last thing I'll say is when you're doing landscaping, you can do net 7. Okay. When you're doing your a la carte services, like you do an aeration overseed, some of you guys just figure out what works best for you. You can do an invoice there and you can give those customers net 7, or you can do a charge card on file. When you have an existing customer, it's easier to do a charge card on file because you already have the card on file. But if you sign up a one-off customer that just wants an aeration, usually we're still doing a 7-day invoice for those customers. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that I buttoned up those couple things here. Quick little edit here on the podcast, making sure that I didn't leave anything off the table as I was reviewing this episode. So that's what I got for you guys. Again, I'm not the know-it-all. I don't have it all figured out, but what we're doing is working for us. And so I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you guys, give you some updates, and try to just give some encouragement. A lot of us are going into the off season here, obviously, and I want to help you guys get your ducks in a row. If you're signing up new customers, charge card on file or bust. If you're a maintenance company, that's worked wonders for us. And if not, if you want to go chase all of these ducks and chase 2 rabbits and get none, that's up to you. The last thing I'll say, and I think I did this twice now, and that's if you don't figure this out now, in my opinion, and you got 22 customers and 4 of them invoice, 4 of them PayPal, for this, for that. Imagine when you try to grow to 40 customers next year, and then 75 customers, and then 100 customers, or whatever your target goal is. Let's say 75% are bought in with the card on file, but 25% aren't. And you got 20 customers, that means 5 aren't credit card on file. Well, then you get to 40 customers and then you got 20 that you're chasing checks and doing the deal. So it's just going to compound, right? And if you don't have a flat policy, like if one guy's late and you kind of bend the rules, well, then what happens? Then everybody can bend the rules and everybody can be late. So have a firm policy. Don't let the tail wag the dog. And I probably beat this as a dead horse, as my wife says. But you know what? I wanted to just help you guys with a little bit of thought process here. Everything the customer says, help them out. Help them work through it. You're looking for partners, and I think that's the best way to grow together. All right? So that's what I got. And guys, we will catch up with you here on the next episode.
It sure would be nice to take our marketing and branding to the next level. Everyone always seems to have the best marketing materials, the best business cards, the best postcards. If I wasn't so busy mowing lawns all day, I'd probably have some cool designs too. I mean, where do people find the time to do all this stuff? I know I need to get new customers, and I know what I need to do. I just don't have the time to do it. I wish there was a better way. Hey guys, we wanted to make you aware of a brand new program that's now available for you guys exclusively at the L'EntreprenneurAcademy.com. Brian has now made available a brand new program, which includes 4 downloadable postcards designed to help you guys grow your business. 4 unique theme postcard templates are now available for you in a plug-and-play fashion. Simply add your company name, company logo, and phone number, and you're ready to rock and roll. These 4 designs are great for any lawn and landscaping business owner looking to take their marketing to the next level. The training program contains a spring, summer, fall, and winter theme postcard. They're $75 each, or purchase all 4 for $249, a $50 savings. Take the stress and hassle out of trying to design your own templates and postcards and use these to quickly grow your business. Get them printed with Brian's preferred vendor, or take the design to your local shop to have them printed up. But now you have 4 designs that are ready to go help you immediately take your marketing and advertising to the next level. Now available exclusively at L'EntreprenneurAcademy.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.